Alright, let's give it a shot. Okay, we're already at 77% of stuff gotten, so we should be pretty... We got 380... We got here, Chad, we got 380 coins to spend. What is that? Does that almost look like a video game thing? So, how are you doing, chat? Having a nice October? I hope. And there are too many games coming out, in my opinion. Because I do want to stream like a decent quantity of them, but you know, I only have so many stream slots available in any given week, and we end up getting involved with these like long games. So, house is already freezing. Yeah, the temperature, at least where I'm living, has dropped precipitously in the last like week or so. Like it went pretty quickly from you can go out like well past the sun setting in short sleeves and feel actually perfectly fine, very comfortable, to now it's gonna be midday and it's actually gotten a bit chilly, where you might even want to wear long sleeves or a light coat, if you're just going out in the afternoon. Crazy how quickly the weather can turn like that. I do wonder if, because I've moved recently, and I moved a fair distance. I wonder if perhaps I might see some more, like, extreme weather where I live now, because I believe I'm further away from a coast. Not that I was particularly close to a coast before, but now I've moved inland, so. I know one of the things with local climates is that because water has a fairly large thermal mass, it kind of stabilizes the temperature of an area. Hence why Siberia is like a frozen wasteland and England is like, livable. Though it's oversimplification. You also have the Gulf Stream to worry about, where there's the natural flow of the currents brings the warmer water from the Caribbean in towards Europe, and obviously you don't have that same effect further inland with the stuff near the Arctic Ocean. But yeah, no, there's been a lot of games that have been coming out or about to come out that I want to do something on. Like I was considering doing streaming the new Zelda game, but just scheduling wise of when I acquired and whatnot didn't really work out. That's actually, we already got a lot on our plate right now. We got like 3 active and 1 sort of hibernating stream games. We got Danganronpa 2, we got Fate Stay Night. We got MEO, which I think we're getting close to the end of, but I'm not certain. I don't think it was supposed to be a super long game. I do hope we can finish that soon, just to clear off another slot in the schedule. But no, I mean, there was that Ace Attorney remake that came out recently. That obviously interests me. There's the Mario Party game that's going to be coming out this week. I think maybe tomorrow? I don't really have a multiplayer setup, so I'm not sure how entertaining that would actually be, but I might do a stream of that, just for the heck of it. And then there's the Mario and Luigi Brothership. It's coming out, I think, next month. Which I'm not sure whether or not I want to stream that. And obviously we streamed Paper Mario pretty recently, so that'd be along similar lines of that. But I'm not sure if I want to commit to a whole nother RPG at this moment in time. Especially if I end up streaming the Life is Strange game. Might not even have a slot when Brothership comes out. I'm looking into next year. One of the games I'm actually most excited for next year is Claire Obscure. It's an RPG that's coming out, I think, in the first half of next year. Looks really good. Music, top notch. It's got the action commands like Paper Mario style, which I always like to see. But I don't necessarily always like to see it. Like, I probably wouldn't be very happy if, say, I was playing a Fire Emblem game and then all of a sudden was like, oh, and you gotta time your button presses every single time you send your Lancer out there to, stab someone. That'd probably take away from the appeal slightly. But like a normal RPG, I like it. It keeps you engaged. Adds a skill element. Which I do think a lot of RPGs benefit from, because RPGs, especially turn-based ones, basically exclusively turn-based ones, they've got this interesting design problem. And this could actually be a topic for a video, like one of the more game design analyses type of videos on the main channel. Because it's something I've been mulling in my head for a while. There's an inherent issue with designing a traditional turn-based RPG. Which is typically, an RPG will have two types of fights fundamentally. It'll have normal fights and boss fights. Now the issue with that is boss fights, to be satisfying, have to be significantly more difficult than normal fights. That can typically then go into your reflective in, higher stat basis for the boss, or the boss has some weird little gimmick or something, but something to make you have to strategize harder on the boss fight. The issue is, since most RPGs are very stat-based, very deterministic, where it's like, okay, I will attack with my normal attack, which does exactly 50 damage or something. In order to make the bosses be at a satisfying difficulty level, like I guess here's the way to put it. If boss fights are more difficult than normal fights, and boss fights are at a satisfying difficulty level, it almost then necessitates that normal fights are at an unsatisfying difficulty level. Because if the normal fights are at a satisfying difficulty level, and the boss fights are more difficult than normal fights, then you could easily end up in a situation where the boss fights are basically like mathematically impossible. So it's a tough dilemma, because it's something a lot of RPGs I do think struggle with, where you get to the situation where, like, the boss fights can be fun challenges. You actually have to use your items. You're making impactful decisions like, okay, do I just wait this round? Do I need to heal this round to make sure my character doesn't die, or am I good to go for a little extra to preserve my resources a bit more? Maybe I actually am gonna use some of my status effects that do stuff over time because the fight's gonna last 10, 20 turns instead of being over in 2. But then your normal fights can become very dull affairs, where it's just like, oh, I show up, I hit you with 3 attacks, and we're done. And I don't necessarily know what the solution to that is. There are solutions, right? The Paper Mario style action commands is one way to go about it. At least gives the player something to do, some sort of skill test, even if the strategy in a given fight isn't really present. You've got some games that do just kind of cop out and be like, well, if you're sufficiently overleveled versus your normal enemies, we'll just say you automatically win the fight. Though that doesn't even really fix the problem, because normally that's more of a, I'm backtracking to an area from level 1 and I'm level 30, so don't waste my time. It doesn't really help with contemporary enemies. I haven't played Undertale, but its system is kind of interesting with the... Because from what I understand, they've got a fairly sophisticated dodging mechanic in Undertale, which is pretty, from what I understand, pretty involved regardless of the level of the fight you're dealing with. So that's one decent way to go about it. Yeah, maybe I should sit down, write a script, do some research, make that into a whole analysis video. Could be interesting. Maybe what I should do, though, is I should design my own RPG, release that, and then use the video as a promotional opportunity. Like, and if you think that these solutions I've offered are interesting solutions, go buy my game, and you can see them in action. RPG, but every fight is a different style. Interesting. Is it just me or are coins more plentiful in this game? It feels weird that we're like almost at 100% items, and it's only chapter 3. I do think one of the interesting things that Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door did is, with the partner system, you do end up with in a situation where a lot of the even normal enemies can basically like hard counter a specific partner, which at least makes you have to switch up your playstyle. Right, if I'm going up against the spiky enemies, like Spinies or something, yeah, I can't really use Goombella effectively because she jumps on everything. Or if I'm going up against an enemy that jumps on me, then Koops isn't really great because he like gets knocked down. Which can at least encourage you to shake up your main strategy. Unless you're stubborn like me and just use Goombella for like every single fight. Well, that's not quite accurate. In the beginning game, sure, but Vivian was actually really good too. Maybe I should do a video sort of like the Danganronpa alignment chart for Paper Mario. I was considering doing like a tier list, but actually, what if I did like another alignment chart thing with 2 axes? It wouldn't be alignment. It would be like mechanical usefulness of the partner on one axis, and then like story interest on the other axis. Could be interesting. The pets really changed the Monokuma economy. Makes sense. I do have a question that I do, and Genesee, if you think this is like too spoiler to answer, at your own discretion, don't answer me. I am curious though. So there is the pet mechanic. Is there something specific I need to do with the pets to make sure that, and you don't even need to tell me what the specific thing is, but like, are the pets tied into like getting like the proper ending or something of this game? Like if I don't do the pets properly, am I gonna end up with like the bad ending? Because I know I kind of messed up my first pet significantly, so like I don't want to be in a situation where it's like you need to raise 5 perfect pets, and I'm all as funny as it would be to say yes, no, there isn't. Okay, well that takes a little pressure off. That'd be kind of evil to lock the like true ending behind something so ancillary. It'd be far from the first game to do something like that, though. So I guess we're at the point where we get like almost nothing from each of our, or we've got a very limited probability to actually get new stuff. There are 2 very powerful skills only locked through pets. Good to know. We've only gotten like 100 items. And I'm like, okay, what else can I talk about? I was driving earlier today. And I kid you not, there was someone, no turn signal. They're going into the highway, and this is a fairly significant highway. It's like at this point where they were getting on, it was probably something like a 12 or 14 lane highway. Granted, some of those lanes were temporary, like on, off ramp type situations. But I kid you not, they, without a turn signal, they're merging onto the highway. They crossed the entire thing without so much as a turn signal. It's not like they were like the only person on the road or something. Like I was right like next to them. You know, had I not been, it's not like they were like about to run into me or anything, but if I wasn't paying attention, they were well within the range where like something could have happened. And I just don't get those people. Like, how do you live your life not using your turn signal? Like what is the... I guess the thing that gets me, and there are people like this with all sorts of stuff, where it's like, using your turn signal, it's such a small thing to do that doing can mitigate your risk of serious harm to yourself by a significant margin. Like, what is going through people's heads that just refuse to use the turn signal? It's like people who refuse to, like, put on a seatbelt or lock their doors. It's like, I mean, yeah. You know, hopefully I'm never going to be in a situation where I need the seatbelts. I guess, yeah, maybe there's the argument of it's a bit uncomfortable, but... although even that, I kind of don't think is the case, but... like, it takes, like, a second. And just like that, you're... I don't want to spout misinformation, but from what I understand, the science is you're significantly more likely to survive a crash. Because the thing you gotta remember with car safety is the crash mitigation mechanisms, your airbags, are built to work like coinciding with the seatbelts. They're supposed to work together. Yeah, no, that's one thing I don't get, because I know seatbelt laws are like a surprisingly new thing, I think. I don't know, obviously it depends on the specific jurisdiction when they got implemented, but I think we're talking like within the last like few decades, like later half of the 20th century, I believe. Well, I mean, obviously the later half of the 20th century, vehicles weren't really that widespread. Anyway. And who knows, maybe I need to be like a boomer or silent generation person to know that, to understand, but I don't get what the, like... Because from what I understand, people are, like, passionately opposed to it. Like, the government can't tell me to put a seatbelt on! I got freedom to do what I want in this country! It's like, dude. Well, like, I mean... I guess it's kind of falls under one of those things of, like... I guess from a governmental policy perspective, I don't really care that much if you're gonna go get yourself killed. But simultaneously, like, what's the hang-up? Now, granted, I suppose you could make the argument of, like, you know, on any given thing. Like, you can make the argument for a lot of things, of like, oh, it's just a tiny little thing, why won't you do that? But if there's... which is fine if it's just the one tiny little thing, but if you know, all of a sudden now the government just mandated, like, there's 200 tiny little things that you have to do, then that can, I guess, get to the point where it's becoming burdensome. But even still, seatbelts, I think, I don't get the opposite. To seatbelt law. Like, I saw there was it was on like a trivia show or something. There was a question of like, yeah, during this time period, there was a major rise in popularity of a shirt with just a black just plain white shirt with a black slash down across it. Why was this the case? And the answer was like, because the jurisdiction had implemented seatbelt laws, and it was like a protest thing of like, well, if I'm driving and I'm wearing this shirt that has the black slash across it, you can't really tell if you're a cop that I'm not wearing my seatbelt. Which I guess would be as a form of like protest and or evading the law. But again, it's like, what's the motivation here? Obtain all types of items in vending machine? Oh, okay, so we have everything that is purchasable in the vending machine. Okay. It's like, no, but we're at 97%. We are not at 100%. But I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe I shouldn't be that surprised. People want the freedom to potentially get themselves killed. I mean, heck, right now in various countries, there's an active debate going on as to whether or not... euthanasia should be legal, which is, regardless of what you think on the policy, and I'm not here to make a stand on that on the internet, but that there is actually literally requesting the right to be killed, so I guess maybe it isn't that strange. Human beings are kind of weird. You think we act there's a popular misconception that we think rationally and act logically, but time and time again, reality proves that assertion wrong. What I will say with regards to euthanasia, the thing that I don't understand, again, I'm not here to make a stand one way or the other, because we're not political here, mostly. The thing I don't understand, though, about it and the movement is I don't understand why it's under the branch of, because I believe, for example, in, Canada, it's called medical assistance in dying. I don't get why it's associated with medicine, specifically, because basically, it's assisted suicide, is what it is. This video segment is not going to be monetized, but... So technically what it is it's assisted suicide. What I don't understand is why I need a medical license. If assisted suicide is going to be legal, why do I need a medical license specifically to be a vendor of it? Right? Why does it specifically have to take the form of, you go into, a doctor's office and then they, shoot you up with some sort of poison and then you die that way? Why can't I just, be a freelancer and be and you come to my shed and then I put some buckshot in your head and that's how you go out? Yeah? If you have the... I should not say this, but... My stance, not serious, is if you have the right to die, you should have the right to choose how you die. Anyway. Okay, we need to get the rest of these items before I say something that's really gonna get me canceled. Come on. We only have, 2 more items? So if we can get one within the next, 42, which is likely enough, and then we can just straight up spend, 100 to get the last one. I still don't quite understand the, being able to spend multiple coins to raise your odds mechanic. Because as we established when we were playing Danganronpa 1, because it raises your odds by, Wait, they made it worse? Hold on a second. So 1 coin is 98%. 2 is 90... I need to spend 10 coins to reduce the repeat rate by 1%? What? What? Excuse me? Okay, I mean, I guess spending 100 still does get the repeat rate down to 0%, but why would you nerf that? It's not like it was overpowered in the previous game. If anything, it was borderline useless. That didn't need to be nerfed. My coins just aren't the same anymore. Inflation. Yeah, tell me about it. Yes. Have you seen how expensive fast food is these days? Because, I don't normally eat fast food, but while I was moving to this place, I didn't quite have my kitchen set up yet and stuff, so, ended up eating at the old, burger joints and whatnot a bit more frequently than usual. And, it's kind of shocking, obviously it depends on the place, but some of these places, I feel like they're charging, you could go to, a decent restaurant. Not a nice place, but a normal, mid-let tier, sort of middle-class establishment. And get a decent meal for between, 15 to 20 bucks. Then you go to like some of these fast food joints and it's like 12 bucks for a meal. It's like, dude, I might as well just go to the actual restaurant at that point. And I guess the fast food still has the speed advantage, but they used to have the cost advantage too, and I don't know where that went. But I suppose the real, I guess the way to keep it cheap is you just don't get the meal. You buy just like a sandwich. Right, because where they really get you is the drinks are like expensive and almost pure profits. But they trick you into buying the drink by saying, well, if you buy the meal, the drink comes with it for free. The drink does not come with it for free. Part of the reason why the meal is more expensive than just buying a sandwich is because there's a drink with it. Okay? So forget the fries, just get your burger. All by itself. Don't get a drink. Drink some water at home or something. Or, you know, get water. Water's free at basically every restaurant, at least in the US. At least if you get it on tap. And if anything, it's probably better for your health. From what I understand, that the fries are really what's... No, not that eating at, like, McDonald's or something is, like, a healthy, good idea regardless. But from what I understand, it's the... I think the fries are part of what really gets you up into the stratosphere. But even so, like if you ever count the calories, even just, like, a burger should be a full-on meal. Because it's crazy. If you're not paying attention to the cows, it's crazy how quickly they can sneak up on you. Like, if you're not careful, you can easily have, like, 1,000-calorie meal. And then if you eat 3 of those a day, that's, like, 50% more than the recommendation, so... yeah. Okay, come on. Okay, so we have 100 coins. We could keep going. I think we're going to call it quits here. Because we aren't at the point where we have one more thing left. So where we could just spend 100 to get it. And I want to do that. So we'll probably come back sometime in chapter 4 to finish that up. So who... we were... I guess we're probably wanting to talk to either, like, Mikan or Sonia, since we have some... we've started that process. I bet Mikan is going to be at the hospital, since she's taking care of our friend. Oh, what have we here? Oh, look at that! So much better than before. Did the name tag exist before? Is that new? The Usami. There we go. See? I am capable of taking care of my pets. Yeah. I still subscribe to the... or at least, I think I've still probably at least... 55, 45, or 60, 40 probability that this is a video game. The issue with the theory, though, is because in reality it's a video game. Any piece of evidence that I can point to it being a video game in universe could just be an artifact by the fact that it's a video game in the real universe, which is kind of tough. Sort of like the it's all just a dream plot twist. Like, part of why it's such an unsatisfying plot twist is because, like, the plot twist is essentially, oh, the story wasn't real, it was all just made up. It's like, yeah, I know. That's how fiction works. You don't need to, like, tell me. And therefore, you know, with things like, oh, hey, Nagito, what are you doing here? I'm not hanging out with you just because. Yes, you're really bored to talk to a pest like me. What should I do? Could I even hang out with someone like Nagito? No. See, again, it's stuff like this. I feel like that grass is rendered weirdly. Yeah, look. Because you can see through the cactus. Like, why? I don't know. Is this game just rendering things weirdly? Because that's just how this game works? Or is it rendering things weirdly because it's a hint that it's a video game in the universe? What about the tumbleweed? What about the tumbleweed? Is there something special about the tumbleweed? Well, now I've got to go see the tumbleweed. I mean, that layering seems suspect, at the very least. Like, the thing that gets me is things in this part of the game are so weirdly layered. And it... Like, I don't have a ton of experience programming, but I've programmed a few things in my day. It's not that difficult to just get things to layer correctly. It's not that difficult. So it has to be intentional, right? It has to be. Also, can we, like who are these guys? Are they real? Why is there an alien? Why are there, like, what is going on here? Hold on. So, lobby. Alright, this is the exam room. You come in via an emergency. Gotcha. These guys bring you in. So we got like half aliens, half Monokumas, and then they go to heaven. And in heaven, it's a ghost Monokuma?
Huh? Are you
with
serious?
flowers at a grave. Like, it occurs to me, we haven't really explored the hospital very thoroughly, have we? We've got a... Is this an MRI machine? Which is shaking This whole hospital gives me weird vibes. Huh, this room is... There's a lot of chairs and desks here. I guess it's sort of like a conference room. It's a projector. Well, it's not strange for it to be in a conference room after all. It's a folding desk. They probably arrange these inside the conference room during meetings. It's a really big window. The room looks more spacious thanks to that. Oh, there's a Monokuma hiding up there.
I've been found.
This place is weird. This isn't a room for patients. It looks more like an on-call room for hospital staff. But all this cluttered medical equipment makes it look like a storage room. If this is the only on-call room working at a hospital, it must be tough work. So, if a room like this exists, that means there used to be people here, right? Seriously, what the heck is going on with this island? There's a bed. It resembles the ones in the patient rooms, but these are probably for breaks. Medical equipment and nursing tools. There's a lot of other medical stuff here, too. This room looks like it's used to store equipment. Interesting. Okay, so that was the staff room. Ready to check the conference room. We can't enter the MRI room, it would seem. So I guess we'll go back down. Can we, like, take note of any of this that's going... Like, what the heck is this? Like how is this not being mentioned? Looks like an open room. There shouldn't be anybody inside. Sorry. Another open room. Another open room. Oh, we've got his thing there. His placard. Yeah, I'll be honest, I'd assumed Mikan would be here. I guess I can chat to Fihiko while I'm here. He's just silently staring out the window. It's best if I don't make the injured talk needlessly. I should just leave him alone right now. Okay, so if Mikan isn't in the hospital, where would she be? I guess we can consult the map to figure that one out. What do you mean the spare meter? Come on, come on! I looked away for like 5 seconds. Okay, map. Okay, so... I know we're on this island. Library. So Sonya's in the library. We could go see her if we wanted. Oh, she's at the hotel. Oh, don't I feel like a fool for running all the way to this island then? I guess we did get to explore the hospital more thoroughly. There's some merit to that. Alright, let's find her. Mikan.